Hello, hello. And just checking one thing. Bob. I think I'm okay, Bob. I don't have my OneDrive on. I don't think so anyway. If I do, let me know. Okay, good morning, everybody. Thank you for joining me here on the Key to Soul Awakening. I just saw my hair was like in this big like knot at the top. So, okay. So today is February 28th of 2021. Thank you for coming to the Key of Soul Awakening. I'd like to start right off the bat with just a prayer. So please just close your eyes, and I want you to focus on your beating heart. And when thoughts come into your mind, just let them leave without attaching any thought or emotion to them. Here we go. In trust, we are here, Divine Source, in all that is unity, truth, love, oneness, and life. As we draw near to Source, Source draws near to us in order to transform us and raise us to our highest and best life. Requesting information to the highest and best good of myself, Bob, my family, and all those who are participating and watching this live stream. We ask that the wholeness of our spirit guides, angels, master teachers, and loved ones in spirit be with us in this major transformation that we are going through at the moment. We thank you for this now that we are experiencing. We ask for balance, patience, and peace within. And so it is. Amen. All right. Good morning, everybody. I'm Stacie. I'm from the Key to Soul Awakening. I'm a psychic medium, but I do not do normal psychic readings. Well, I do, but it's not my day job. My day job is where I help my clients examine their past lives, which I can see their past lives. I examine what's going on in their own life right now to identify their karmic patterns and help them clear their struggles and live and manifest their highest and best life. I thank you for all of you coming here on this live stream. Make sure that you like it and you subscribe to my channel and hit that bell because I do go live quite often during the week, and whenever I upload things, you'll get alerted right away. Our community here has joined together to help each other understand the path that we have on this life, that we're all walking on different paths, but we should be together and we should be raising our vibration together in love and unity. My Key to Soul Awakening is spelled C-A-Y because manifesting my highest and best life brought me here to this beautiful island in the Caribbean. And in the Caribbean, we call islands Key, C-A-Y. And that's why this is called the Key to Soul Awakening. If you want to know more about my story, go ahead and make an appointment with me. I will explain it to you. I used to have it on YouTube, but I took it down for a short time because I just don't think it has the positive high vibrations that I wanted. I'm probably going to re-record my backstory probably in a couple months. All right, so if you're new here, here's how this works. You put your date of birth and your question in the chat box, and then I will look at your question and then answer it for you. The reason I ask for your date of birth is because I also work with life paths. I know astrology, numerology, and sacred geometry pretty well. So what I do is I look at your general life path and I can see in general what you've planned for your life. And then my guides help me out with the rest just on the fly for a reading like this. If you would want to have a one-to-one with me, I go in much deeper into your life. I can recreate your blueprint that you created before you were born into this lifetime. And it's really fascinating because we can see where you actually went off in your life path and how to get you back on. All right. Okay. Oh, yes. If you're under 18, I welcome you watching this. I welcome you to ask questions. I cannot give you a reading, though, because of under 18, it's just against my ethical code. Nothing really having to do with the law or anything. I just don't feel right if my kids would want to go out and get a reading from somebody, and I wouldn't know. All right. If you have a technical question, Bob Johnson's my husband here. You just tag him and you let him know if there's a question, like you can't see your question, you can't see what you typed in, let him know. All right, let me pause over here. All right, so we don't have questions yet, so that's great. What I want to do is I'm going to tell you a little bit about this work from Byron Katie. And those of you who don't know Byron Katie, she is a fantastic inspirational motivational speaker. She has books. The one I love is called Loving What Is. And I pulled a card out this morning to see what we were going to talk about. I pulled 3, but the first one we're going to talk about is called Arguing with Reality is like trying to teach a cat to bark. It's hopeless. And what she's talking about there is arguing with reality. So if we want somebody to act a certain way, but they haven't shown us that they're acting that way, they don't want to act that way and they can't. So trying to change them is hopeless. We should just move on. We need to be looking at our life in a factual way rather than a way in which we want to see it and making it up and then getting frustrated that our life isn't what we wanted. Because reality is, most of us are living in a reality that we created based upon how we feel about ourselves. So if you don't feel that great about yourself and your life is kind of icky, it's because you don't feel that great about yourself. The transformation starts within, and then you'll be able to transfer your life on the outside. Oh, right. We had group classes start this week. Group classes started out with a bang. I'm so happy so many of you have signed up for these group classes, and you want to learn about how to clear your karmic patterns. I was really jazzed after I got off these group classes because you had such great questions. The material I was hoping you'd be interested in, and I was really happy with every single class because the questions that came through and the work you're doing, because I have my class members filling out journals and I get to talk to them every day through this journal. I really see transformation happening already in a few days. If you're interested in signing up for a class, I'm going to put the link here. See if it goes in here. If you're interested, here's the link for group classes. All right. Hey, Gail. Okay, that's a big question, Gail. Okay, hold on a second. Let me just see where I am. Before I jump into Gail's questions, let me tell you, I'm going to thank my Patreon members. My Patreon memberships are almost sold out. I opened a few more up today, just in case anybody else wanted to get in there. But my medium mentees, Tori and Melinda, Manifest Empower members, Gail, Holly, Lindsay, Lisa, Anastasia, Tina, Alicia, and all the other supporters of Nick, Jacqueline, Julie, John, Rafi, Soups on Me, Kelly, Sunil, GMAC, Big Feet 30, Caitlin, Stu 18, Cindy, Lisa, Vanessa, Christina, Kirthi, Neha, Drashti, and Panda. There we go. Thank you. I love you all. Thank you for being with me in this membership and learning together as we grow. All right, let's see what the first question is. How can you tell what your vibration level you're on and that you're leaving a positive life? Okay, so that is kind of a loaded question. So vibration is, let me back up a little bit. So for those of you who understand the 12 universal laws, one of the universal laws is law of vibration. Another one is the law of attraction. The law of attraction is what we hear about all the time. If you get that vision board, which is one of my pet peeves, if you get a vision board, if you just put out in the universe what you want, you will it'll come back in spades. Well, the truth is that usually doesn't happen. And people get frustrated and they think, oh, this doesn't work. But the real truth is the law of attraction has been in your life since the moment you were born. When you were born, you put out vibration, and that's the law of vibration. We're energy. It's been scientifically proven that our spirits are energy. And through that energy, we put out vibration. The vibration's constantly changing. In that vibration, we tell the law of attraction of what we want in our life. Okay? It does not give us what we want, and it does not fix us. And let me tell you 1 second, I'll explain this. It does not give us what we want if we're not feeling it. So it only matches what we are. So if you're feeling kind of down, kind of like life's a struggle, that vibration is going to go out and it's going to tell the law of attraction that life is a struggle. So the law of attraction is going to match that and say, we're going to give this person more struggles in life because that's what they're putting out. The key to using the law of attraction and your vibration is putting out what you want. So even if it is kind of a struggle, you need to feel that everything's flowing, feel that you're positive and happy, and that's what will be matched. Gail's question is, how do you know what level you're on? So there are different levels, and you can look up, it's like a cone. It's a triangle, inverted triangle of how the different levels. I've changed it a little bit just to teach people how it, and I wish I could show it on. I've changed that vibrational scale for myself to show my clients their levels, and it really shows in different ways that you're feeling. So, and it's all about feeling. It's not about what you have or who's in your life or what job you have, or it's none about that. Everybody gets stuck on, what career are you? I mean, well, look at him. He has such a great job. He must be a good person. Is that true? Can we say that's true? No, we can't say that's true. What we need to focus on is how we feel. So if we feel like we're successful, we're going to put that out in the universe, and that success is going to come to us. But if we feel kind of like guilty or shameful in any way, and I mean any way, if you feel guilty and shameful for any single thing that you've done, that will get into your vibration, and it'll bring more guilt and shame situations, people who point out what you've done wrong to you. So, how you figure out what vibrational level you want in general, okay, because it's a little complex, but in general, how you figure it out is you think inside yourself. Like right now, I'm thinking, how do I feel? And I'm going to mentally scan myself. How do I feel? And right now, I'm feeling very free, very light and loose and happy. I'm scanning if there's any kind of negativity, any kind of physical ailments going on. I can tell you my shoulder right here is a little tense. I have a little bit of worry about my kids going back to school. Okay, so that's a negative one that I need to let go of. So I would say I see it, I feel it, I release it. I choose to have my children's school experience be the best possible experience they can have. That's simple. So I let go of that. So anything else, I'm not really feeling very negative at all right now. But what about you? What are you feeling? If you mentally scan your body, are you feeling any anxieties? Are you feeling any fears, any frustrations? If you feel that, that means you're on a lower level of a vibration and you're manifesting things into your life that are less desirable. So tell me, how do you feel if you mentally scan? Can you feel your energies and your emotions? Can you feel any tiny tensions in your body? Let me know. Okay. And you're leading a positive life. So, leading a positive life is a little bit easier to understand. A lot of people think, and I learned this lesson just this week. I'm still learning lessons, people. Yep. I learned this lesson this week was that you can be kind to somebody, but there is a limit. You shouldn't be kind so far that it is detrimental to you in any way, physically, emotionally, financially, spiritually. So you know you live a positive life if you're taking care of yourself and being kind to others without judgment, without resentment. So knowing you're leading a positive life is a lot easier than knowing which vibrational level you're on. A positive life will feel very free, will feel very light. When you mentally scan yourself, you don't really feel any anger or frustration or, and again, I can scan myself and tell you that I don't really feel that. Where a couple years ago, that was all I was. So if you have any kind of, right, okay, they've reminded me, tell you one more question. The question of if you're living a positive life is this. I want you to think of somebody you really do not like in your life. Okay. You could even say you hate them. Fine. Think of somebody you really do not like in your life. Do you have them? Do you have them in your head? You're thinking about them? Now, tell yourself that you love them unconditionally, regardless of what they do. If you can do that, if you can love the person you dislike most in life, then you are living in a positive way. If you have any kind of anger, resentment, fear, rage, anything about this person, there's still some things to work on. Any other questions going on here? Don't forget to put your birth date in the chat box. Make sure you hit that like button and you share this live on your social media so more people can join us. So again, Byron Katie, she's telling us that we can't argue with reality. So if we talk about that person that we don't like very much, like we're not going to change them, but we can accept them for who they are and then maybe move on in our own lives, right? Another one that I pulled from Byron Katie is this card. And this one got me through this week. I talked to every one of my clients about this card. And this is seeking love keeps you away from the awareness that you already have it, that you are it. That's the second card, actually. I thought that was a different one. So that one is seeking love. And that's good for this one because a lot of people on my live streams ask me all the time, like, who am I going to marry? Where's my person I'm going to marry? Who's going to love me? And I always answer to them, well, do you love you? Do you love you? Because you're never going to find that person to come and love you for who you are unless you love you unconditionally. And that's just a solid truth. All right. The other card that I wanted to talk to you about was whose story, life is all about, in a negative way, being angry at someone's story. So if we're angry at someone's story, we're usually angry at our own story first. So what are you angry about? Are you angry about your own story, something that happened to you? Are you angry about somebody else and what happened to them? But the reason that it's called a story is because we don't actually know if it's the truth until we stop and think about it. Sometimes it just feels better to be angry at other people, and that takes the focus off of us. True? What do you guys think? Do you think that it's easier just to be angry at people and the world and then move on with your life? And it's easier to do that rather than, kind of moving on and looking at ourselves and going, okay, so I might be a little negative. What do I need to do to fix that? Interesting question, right? Okay. So let me take a breath right now. All right. Last one is you can only see what you believe, nothing else is possible, which goes into what story are you mad at? So let's say you create somebody in your life who is like cheating on you and taking your money, and that's just this person, all right? But it turns out, like, do you know if that's actually true? Can you know it's actually true? And that's the thing. Like, we've been through a lot of stuff in our lives. I'm thinking about my life personally here. And if I would have known this 15, 20 years ago, how to live my life like this, life would have been totally different. Let me take you through the questions. Ready? So if you find something that is really, really struggling, like something that's really hard for you, let's pull something out real quick. Like I always felt like I was never good enough for my mother-in-law. Always felt that way. And if I could do that, but go back now, I go, well, is that true that I'm not good enough for her? Can I really know that that's true? And point is, I don't know that I could tell that was true because she was always very nice to me. She was always very helpful. Maybe she was doing some things that I didn't like behind my back, but do I think she thought I was a bad mother? I don't think so. So then the next question goes to, how do you feel about yourself when you have that thought? And I think, okay, when I felt that my mother-in-law was judging me, I felt very bad about myself. I felt very, what's the question? What's the answer there? I felt very not good enough. All right. And the last thing you go to is, who would you be without that thought? If I didn't think that my mother-in-law was judging me and putting me down constantly, which was in my head, I would be more confident and happy and powerful in my role as a mother and a wife and a daughter-in-law. Do you see how I took the story of just thinking that my mother-in-law was judging me and took myself down a couple notches? And I did it to myself. And that's what a lot of people do. You do it to yourself. You really do. But if you know it's true, if you know this person is doing something to you in a way that's not good, what you should do is think, okay, so I know that's true. How do I feel about it? I feel pretty bad about it. All right. Who would you be without this? And you get to that point. I would be happy and confident. And that should lead you to the position of, maybe we shouldn't be around this person. And then that usually leads people to fear. It leads people to the fear of changing their life, of changing what's comfortable, but may not make them happy. And there's a difference if you're comfortable, but not happy. A lot of people don't leave and change things in their life because it's scary to make changes. It's scary to step out of yourself, right? And this is what I talk to a lot of my clients about, that fear is the number one issue when we don't want to change our lives, but fear is an illusion. I can continue talking about this in a minute. Let me get to some questions. If you have a question, put your date of birth and your question in the chat box, and I will get right to it. I can do them with tarot. I generally have been doing them psychically fully for a while now, but if you'd like a tarot reading, just say I'd like a tarot reading, and I can do that for you. All right, let me look over to another question that I'm getting from another source. Hold on. All right. This person is asking if, yeah, their mother's sick. Okay, mother's sick. She's asking if their mother will be fine. Hold on. Birth date, 9/6. Okay. So the birth date is 9/6. That's 15. So your attitude numbers are 6. Okay, life path is 7, attitude number is a 6, which I always find is an interesting combo because life path 7 is very spiritual. Life path 7s usually are very rooted in spirituality and religion in some way. And they tend to be a little bit loftier in thinking, where sixes are very grounded. So this person who's asking this question is very, very spiritual, religious, but they want proof of it. Okay. And it's a very interesting combination. Okay. They're asking about their mother being sick. Okay. I am feeling in the chest. So I want to ask if this person has this virus that we're dealing with right now. Let me see. I don't say that word on YouTube because I get flagged. We don't say that word. Okay. Yeah. Okay. So this person has this. I do feel like your mother is going to be okay. It's going to be a little bit of a long process. I feel as if she is trying to move along. She wants us to go faster. And this is a learning process for her, this illness that she has. And specifically for her, she needs to learn to be patient and take care of herself and accept the help from others. And that's specifically what I'm seeing, is that she's never been somebody who's wanted somebody to take care of her. And now she's in a position that she has to. And while I'm, so yeah, let me answer the question. Yeah, your mother's going to be fine. While I'm on this topic of this illness that's, going around the world that we've been dealing with for a year, I want everybody to know that that is what we've been dealing with for a year. It has been a trial in fear sent by universe source energy. So and it's never supposed to last this long. I don't want to say we failed, but so much fear about it has happened, it's elongated it. So it was only supposed to be a couple of months to happen. It was supposed to teach us to trust the universe, trust the process, trust people in our lives in order to allow it to go away. But what happened? Everyone started to fight about it, and it became politicized very, very quickly. And we still have it around. The way to get through this is to not fear it. Not fear it at all. Okay. And you learn lessons. You get it. You get it. You don't. You don't. If somebody gets it, you all learn lessons. Everybody in this is supposed to be learning a lesson. It's not supposed to be for you to be scared of. So, and I can tell you, my mother-in-law had it, and yeah, and I was having dreams beforehand that she was going to get it, and I saved her life. I'll tell you that. Got her into the hospital. My husband got her in the hospital. But yeah, she had it really bad, but she's better. She did not cross over. She's fine. See, people do recover from this. Just don't fear it. All right. This whole situation is based in fear. The whole situation. Same thing happened in Texas last week and a half ago. Whole situation is based in fear. When you don't fear the bad things that happen to you, they have no power over you. Remember that. All right. Okay. So we have a reading for somebody, birth date, August 1st, 1975. That's 9. Okay. So this person is a life path of a 4. Oh, my guides are telling me to write that down. Hold on a second. So fear, I don't remember what I said, guides. Fear has no power over you if you don't let it. Remember that. Okay, you give fear the power. All right. So anytime you're scared, just think think positive. Step out of the fear, because the more you fear it, the more it's going to get bigger. Okay. So life path reading for you're a 4, which means 4s are very, very stable. Whenever I see a 4, I think of stability. It's like a box, 4 legs on a table, 4 walls in a room. 4s are very stable, and they find a way to always make things happen very, very easily, because they're capable. I don't want to say able, they're capable 4s. They tend to lean a little bit more into the logic versus the 3 and the 5 that surround them. The 5 who's all like fun times, like, hey, that's me. I'm a 5. I'm a 3. And then the 5 on the other side is just constant freedom, and they constantly want to be moving. The 4 is very, very stable, usually stays in one place in life, loves stability. They love the truth. I call them the human lie detectors. They will know if you're lying. Full stop. They'll know if you're lying. If you cross a 4, they will not they don't lash back like a lot of people do. Fours take their time to think about how they're going to move ahead in this particular situation. I mean, it's all about like this running what's that called where you run tests, you run trials. They run trials in their head. This one, this one, this one. That's what a four is. On the flip side, a four doesn't have very many bad qualities, honestly, because fours are generally very stable, very happy, very balanced. The one thing about a four that can be said is they have to speak the truth. And if they get backed into the corner of, having to tell a lie, what they do is they believe that lie that they're telling, which is a little scary. Okay. So you are a four, but your life path, the life path is a four. Your attitude is a nine, which means that you approach life and you're learning through endings. So I'm seeing your endings in your life. You've had a few endings in your life, a few big endings in your life. So the first ending I'm seeing that happened for you when you were very tiny, baby. So adoption, I'm seeing adoption. So that was the ending. And one of your parents passed away, and that was an ending. It seems like your endings are all very, very, I don't want to say traumatic, but just big. But when you're a nine, though, you don't have to have big endings. This person seems to want to live larger than life. So they're all like big. So all these endings that I'm seeing for you, they're meant to teach you. You're approaching you're approaching your stability in life with the attitude of endings, with fear. I feel a fear inside of you because so much has been taken away from you that was so dear to you. I can tell your father passed away because he's here with me. Um, you need to release the fear, because once you release that fear of not being enough, not having enough money, not being enough to your family, not doing enough where people will like you, once you release that fear, you're going to open the doors up for a life that you want. You never even dreamed of a life so happy. And the word happy is underlined, happy. So the fear needs to be let go. It's interesting that fear is coming up again. Yeah, and I'm seeing your dad with a fishing rod, and he's saying that you guys fish together, and that he's with you, especially when you're out on the water. He's saying, especially when he's out on the water, I'm with him. So I hope that answered your question. If you have any other questions for that life reading for August 1st, 1975, let me know. If you have a question, pop it in the chat box. Give me an answer, and give me a question, and I will answer it for you. So sorry, I can't help you with your boat. What I can do is put it out in the universe, and you can put out in the universe if you need a boat. You can say, I have a boat, and this is how it feels to have a boat. I want to talk about astral projection. Do you guys know what astral projection is? Astral projection, it just popped in my head last night that I should be talking to you about astral projection. Tell me, have you ever had an astral projection experience? If you know what this is, put it in the chat box. Just say, yep, I've had an astral projection, or I know what it is. I'm going to move down a little bit further until, actually, I'll take a drink. Let me see. Do you have an astral projection? I mean, I do this all the time. I've gotten to the point with astral projections that when I get up in the morning, I have to turn around and make sure like I'm not in the bed, because sometimes like I have them, it doesn't even feel like I'm out of my body. But yeah, I've gotten to the point where I've had to make sure that I'm out of the bed and it's actually my body. Okay. All right. So nobody's really understands this astral projection thing is what I'm gathering. So astral projection is, we all do it. You may not know it. Astral projection is when our bodies are asleep at night. Our bodies are asleep at night, and our bodies are separate from our souls and our mind. If you think about the prayer that says body, mind, and soul, it's because it's three different things. Your body is one thing, your soul is another, and your mind is another. Your body needs more rest than any of them. So when your body is sleeping, your spirit, your soul's like, okay, what am I going to do? I'm bored. Where am I going to go? So it's kind of like a 3-year-old. Okay. So your spirit will just leave your body and go anywhere, anytime, any place that they want to. I mean, they could go to the other side to visit people. You could go to another universe, another lifetime to see what's going on there. Literally, you can go anywhere when you astral project. And it's become a really big thing when people have wanted to astral project willingly. Okay. There's many, many, many guided meditations on YouTube about astral projection. But what you need to know before I go into how cool this is, what you need to know about astral projection is you need to be careful that you're not astrally projecting without protecting yourself first, especially if you have spiritual gifts like psychic gifts. When you astral project and you don't protect yourself with a white light, or you ask your guides to protect you, you can come into situations with other energies and other entities that are negative that wouldn't be as pleasant. That's not what you want to do. So ensure before you astral project that you make sure your guides are with you and you set a protection circle around you. So astral projection, I've done willingly twice. I've woken up, I've astrally projected without realizing I've done it until I was in the middle of it more times. Okay. The 2 times that I actually tried to meditate down into astral projection, it was really cool. I did. I lifted out of my body and then I had the thought, holy crap, I'm out of my body. Bam, right back in. Okay. So it is difficult. It's a weird feeling because you feel your body, but you also feel yourself up here. And that's what throws you. So there have been a lot of times when I've woken up and I have, like one time I remember hearing my youngest child crying, and I got up and I went and checked on him, and he was sleeping. He was fine. And then I turned around to shut his door and I looked in my bedroom door, and there's me and there's my husband, both still laying there. And I was like, oh, we're doing this. So, I mean, I've done this a lot. I mean, if you've had an astral projection experience, go ahead and tell me. Another one was where this one was interesting, where I went on to the other side and I was in the darkness following somebody, and we were in a hallway then, and I was like, what are we doing here? And this person with me was like, we're here to gently tell people they have crossed over. And I went, oh, okay. So this next person came in, and then all of a sudden he had to go through the left door. And if you don't know what the left door is, let me know. And that's what kind of freaked me out. I'm like, wait, I'm putting people through the left door. So it was interesting because I knew I wasn't dead, but I was in a place where people were passed over. And it definitely was not Earth. So astral projection, I'm sorry, I'm talking too fast. Astral projection really is very normal. And if you're interested in doing it, what you need to do is first, make sure you're spiritually balanced with vibration. You also need to make sure that you are protected with your spirits. And then you just use one of these guided meditations, and it helps you learn how to kind of pull yourself out of your body. If you have any questions about it, let me know. If you're new here, make sure you hit that like button and you hit the subscribe button and pop your date of birth and your question in the chat box, and I will answer it for you. 1 second. Gail, this goes to your question earlier. I had something listed on here that says, what does anger do to us spiritually? And Gail had asked earlier about vibrational levels. And I've been thinking a lot about this person I know who turned out to be not a person I really know at all. And she and her person she's with turned into very angry people. And it really surprised me because I thought they were, like we all do. We put that mask on in front of people to make sure they like us, right? But I've known this person for a really long time. So I've really, really delved into the question this week of what anger does to us spiritually. And on a spiritual level, on a human level, we can really get angry, okay? But if we let that anger resonate within us, it really changes our vibration into a place that becomes more difficult to get rid of later. So we can get angry at people. We can get angry at people in a fringe way. But if we stay angry and resentful of people, such as this friend, look, I'm not angry at her. I'm just a bit disappointed in her. If we stay angry, that will affect our vibration and will halt any kind of movement we've made in order to manifest our best life. So yeah, anger is a very normal reaction, but it also is not a really necessary emotion. So when you get angry, lift that up. and look under it. What is under that anger? And it's always going to be different than anger. So when I lift up the anger of this particular situation, I'm just really sad that I've lost a friend. That really is it. I'm lost. I'm very sad that I lost a friend and I'm disappointed. So in me realizing that, that means I've let the anger go and I'm just letting the sadness flow in and leave out and not really affecting my vibration at all. All right, let's see questions. All right, Lala. Okay. Let me do your, do you have a year, Lala, for your date of birth? Because it's going to help me. All right. Lala, why am I seeing a baseball field? Baseball field. Um, it was directly related to your dad. So I don't know if he played or he watched you play. Something about baseball, a baseball field. Your guides are telling you to there's so much grief around you, and I don't believe it's just about your dad. I think there's other things that have happened in your life, Lala, that have made you uncertain of life. Okay? So the major thing they're bringing me is this level of grief that was there before your dad passed, but it was compounded with your dad. The reason I'm like talking so slow is I'm a little confused on the question because uh, did you have a stepdad? Is that the word dad is really throwing me off because they're telling me that your dad is not passed. I'm trying to figure that out. So if you have a stepdad that feels like a dad, that might be where the confusion is here. Any clarity you can add to this, because it's hard to move forward if I don't know exactly what I'm looking at here. What I immediately got when I read this question was this baseball field, a baseball. I don't think it's softball. I think it's baseball. And then they're holding me up on this word dad. So I'll be right with you, New Life, okay? Your message from your spirit guides is really, you need to let go of all the sadness you have inside of you. And it is not related directly to your father. It's related to a lot of other things. And you have something inside of you, Lala, that is, you have something inside of you, Lala, that really is making you wonder why you even chose to be here right now. Because you're at the core level pretty unhappy, even if you don't want people to know that. Let me know if that is accurate. Any other question you want to add into there? I'd be happy to move along with this reading. I just need a little bit more information, okay? Hey, Julie J. Hey, Neelam. Okay, let's go to New Life. Okay. New Life, I talked to you before, didn't I? I remember this, right? Can you give me your date of birth and your date of birth, your month, your day, and your year, and a coming pregnancy? Let's see. I do see a pregnancy coming. I'm getting blue all over, so I'm pretty sure it's going to be a boy. Let me see. Okay. I'll get right back to you, Lala, okay? April 5th, 1993. Okay, so you're 4. And that's why you're asking me if you see a pregnancy coming, because you are a 4. And as I was saying before, with a 4, you like things kind of just settled and structured and knowing what's coming. I do see a pregnancy for you. I see lots of blue. So definitely boy. When will that happen? They're showing me the months between July and October are going to be the best for getting pregnant. They're cautioning me though, because they're cautioning me, and usually when they caution me, that just means that don't get too disappointed if it doesn't happen right away, and also that you need to pace your excitement. Wait to announce the pregnancy to make sure everything's okay, which I feel like everything should be okay, but there might be a question that's coming up with it. So just make sure, and this is to teach you a lesson. They want you to know that this is teaching you a lesson in unconditional love, in that no matter what happens, you love each other, you love the baby, and other people's opinions should not matter. That's exactly what was just said to me. So let me know, okay, New Life, if that makes sense to you, okay? Julie J, I don't pick at random. I go right down the line when I see them. So what happens is you put your question in the chat box, and Bob actually messages it to me on Skype, because the chat box distracts me when I do readings. So just put your question in, and Bob's going to give it to me. So I do them in order. I wanted to get back to Lala. I did see she answered something, right, Bob? Lately, I've been actively working on changing my perspective. Yeah, okay. Lala, I'm going to go back real quick to, I was talking about Lala. She's talking about her dad. Yeah, your perspective, and you weren't like this before. This has changed you. They're giving me 6 years. There's been 6 years from now to the past. These last 6 years have really changed you. And it's like you grew up thinking, life's okay. I can do this. Life's okay. Life's okay. We have some struggles every now and then, but life's okay. I can do this. And then 6 years ago started this path for you where you're like, I didn't know that it could be like this. And I don't really know what to do. I don't really know how to get out of this. When really you don't have to get out of it. You just have to learn your lesson and move through it. Your dad feels like a great support to you during this, and that is why you miss him. Again, oh, heart. Did he die from a heart attack? Did he die with something right here? Lala, tell me if your dad died of a heart attack or some kind of chest ailment, because it's really tight right now. I was going to say something else, but now I'm feeling this, so hold on. Did he call you his angel baby, or something about an angel? Like you are his angel? Okay. Okay. So Lala, if you want to have a reading, I pinned at the top the how to make a reading with me one-on-one. It's a lot easier to do this, and you're really, what the information's coming through me is that, and I don't tell everybody to make a reading, it's only certain people. They're telling me it's important that we connect, not on a live stream. But I'm feeling definitely pain here related to your dad. And if he didn't die of a heart attack, that means you have a heart chakra blockage that's severe, and that I mean it's bad. So let me know what your ideas are there, Lala. My link's above if you want to make an appointment with me, okay? All right, let me move through. Let's see, I did that one. Hey, Julie J. Let's see, Neelam. Yeah, I can get your reading. Remind me of your birth date again, Neelam. And then make sure, guys, that you put your birth dates in here, because it's a lot easier for me to understand, to focus specifically on you when I have your birth dates. Okay. This is She Talks to Angels. Just seeing if anybody else's birthday. Okay, Neelam. November 14th, 1992. I'm doing their life paths. So if you're hanging in there, let me just get this together because it helps me. Okay. Um, okay, Neelam, you're an 8. Okay. Neelam. You just want a basic reading, Neelam? Okay. All right, they're telling me to pull one of these cards for you. Neelam, things feel really a lot lighter than they were before. Have you had changes happen? Something has lightened up. All right, let's see. Okay, Neelam, the card that they had me pull for you is Trust Your Path. If you knew you would be supported, would you do it? And the question is, that card specifically means you're waiting around for everybody else's approval to do something that you want to do, which I think we talked about before. But it feels a lot lighter right now, Neelam. It feels like you're about to step out on your own, and it's a good thing. And when I mean step out on your own, I mean make a decision that you've been wanting to make but been holding off. Is this accurate, Neelam? I want you to tell me if this is accurate, because it feels like you are it's like you're stepping out into the world and you never thought you could do it on your own. Let me know if that's accurate, okay? Okay. Okay. Spiritual journey. Yeah. Okay. So maybe that's what it is. If you're working in a group of people, it's like you're stepping out on your own and you never had that confidence before, but you're getting it and you're going to get it. You're going to get it in spades. So just keep doing what you're doing and don't wait around for anybody else's validation. Take it from me. Don't wait around for anybody else's validation. You do what you know you're good at. And that's going to move you along in your spiritual journey. Okay. Let's go back up to okay, she talks to angels. Okay, and Julie J, I'm going to get to you next, okay? She talks to angels when you'll stop renting. Okay. Well, I feel like you just went into a new rental, so that would be probably a year from now, but let me project out. You are going to be entering into, they just showed me very clearly, you're going to be entering into employment within the next 2 years that is going to afford you to buy a home. So your guides are saying be patient, don't rush it, don't get frustrated. It will come when the time is right. Your job also feels like something you just have to do in order to get by. You're going to get a job in the next 2 to 3 years that will be what you want and get you to where you want to be in life. Okay? She talks to angels. All right, let's see. Yeah, Neelam, you do have a change in you. All right, let's go back down to I did put the link up here for, thank you, Gail, the classes. I did put a link above in the chat. Just scroll up. There's room in the karmic clearing classes, there's room next month and the month after that. Current ones are full. I can't take anybody else. But yeah, Gail's part of one of those classes, and I love them. They're so fun. I love how dedicated everybody is, and everyone's so nice. Okay, I'm going to go back to Julie J. Okay, so Julie J, do you have a question? Or you just want a general reading? All right, so let me see if Julie J has a question. Appreciate it very much. To know if you're going to be able to buy your own place. Okay, Julie J, same question. Okay. Okay, so the reason you're asking this question about buying your own place is because your life path is very much about value, money. Feel like you're very good at making money and keeping money, whereas other life paths eights are very good at making money and losing money. I feel like you're the more positive side of that. You have very lofty goals. The life path of an eight is all about value. So it's as if you don't like somebody or you don't find value in somebody, you don't spend time with them. It's all about value. So you're asking about when you'd be able to, let me get this correctly, buy a house on your own. Okay. It's interesting that you put apartment or house because I do see you investing in apartments. Like you would become, like you buy like a building and rent out to 3 or 4 people. Think that is going to be the step up that you're going to need to take in order to kind of, they're using the word launch you into the place you want to be. You feel like there's something inside of you, Julie, that's telling me that you feel like you're behind, right? You feel like you're behind. You feel like you need to catch up. And that's not the case at all. You just need to go and do everything in your life as positively as possible and not doubt yourself. You've spent your whole life, your entire life doubting yourself when really there is nothing to doubt yourself about. And that's the kind of the trap you get caught in. That's karmic pattern, by the way. So when will you be able to do this? And this is an interesting question. When people ask me when, and they haven't delved into how to do, I think you have though, delved into how to do shadow work or karmic clearing, the question of when is really based upon when the person clears their karma. All right. And this is what I help my clients do is I help them clear their karma in order to open the doors for their life. So the when really can't be answered until you look at your shadow self and how you've been holding yourself back. Because you feel very, very driven, very, very professional, very like you could do it all if you would get out of your way. And take it from somebody who was in her own way for a long time. Once you realize you're in your own way and you step aside, life just comes rushing up to you. If you want to talk more about this, Julie J, make an appointment with me. I'd linked it at the top. It's just you and me and a private session between us. All right, let's see if there's any other questions. If you have additional questions to anybody I've already read, go ahead and ask me because I can I'll fill in. If you're new, I'm Stacie. I'm a psychic on YouTube, although this is not my day job. I use my psychic skills to help people learn about their past life, their karmic patterns, and their challenges in this life. And I teach them how to clear them in order to live their highest and best life. This is what I just do for fun on the weekends. So if you have a question, I want you to put your birth date in the chat box and I want you to give me your question. Anything, and if you've been watching this for a while, I have lots of stuff that come through, maybe not specifically about your question. What it helps for me to do is for you to validate things that I'm saying, or if it's not true, just let me know, because then I can kind of like figure out what I'm seeing, because I've never been wrong. It's just a matter of what they're trying to show me. They don't show me stories. It's like a puzzle trying to put together. All right. Okay. Lala, go ahead and let me know what you think. Okay. Let me see if any question. No problem, Julie J. Let me know if you want to have any of the questions about this topic, or if you want to make an appointment with me. I'm happy to help you. Okay. All right. All right. Yep. I'm waiting to answer your questions, Lala. Let me know what you thought of what I said. I'm going to move on to one other thing before I go back to questions. Somebody said to me this week, to be spiritual, doesn't that mean we have to be perfect? And, when we think about things like Mother Teresa or Mahatma Gandhi or, things like that, like they were looked at as perfect. They weren't perfect, but they were as close to human perfect as you could probably get. But when we talk about fully enlightened on this vibrational scale, we're not trying to get to fully enlightened. What we're trying to get to is that place of unconditional love for self and for others, no matter what happens. And what we're seeing in the world right now, especially in the United States, is a breakdown of that unofficial, that unconditional love. So if people love each other unconditionally, things like opinions and political standpoints wouldn't be so offensive. We really need to get back to the part where we just love each other because we're all human and we come from source. We are all one because we come from source. Like, I am part of you. You are part of me. Your opinions and your life, not that it doesn't matter to me, but it doesn't affect me enough to make me not love you. And that's where people need to get back to. All right. So to be spiritual, the one thing you need to do to be spiritual is just open your heart to everybody and understand that they're human and you love them because they are part of you. And if they need help, you can help them. All right. But maybe, they may not need help. They need to learn their own path because remember, we also don't judge people. Okay. And that's a big, big, big one. We don't judge people because judging brings our vibration down and also puts us in a place of disharmony with others. All right. So I want you to remember that to be spiritual, all you have to do is open your heart to unconditional love and let go of judgment. And that's your first step to walking this road. All right. Let me go see what these questions are. Okay. So if you have questions about what I said, come on, tell me what you think. I'll take it. Okay. Because I know a lot has been going on the last 2 years, 3 years in the States, all about this political stuff. And I really wish I could talk to, seriously, like the entire country and just say, guys, we need to calm down. We need to calm down. It's a Taylor Swift song. You need to calm down, because we just need to love each other. And if we love and listen to each other, everything's going to be fine. All right, Lala. Okay. It was a negative place. Your dad passed before my dad passed and later. Okay. A lot of guilt because I was mad at my dad and didn't want to talk to him for a while before he passed. Okay. So maybe that is where, Lala, that's where I'm getting this sense that when you said the word dad originally, I got hung up there. It's like it felt like he wasn't your dad. So that's where I was getting hung up because if you were mad at him, maybe you had like detached from him. Okay. Yeah, you were in a negative place, but I feel as if you're in a negative place now. Maybe not as deep now, but you're still kind of there. Let me go back to your original question, Lala. Any messages from your spirit guides? Yeah, I think your message, Lala, is really that you need to. No one's going to come and save you. That's what's being said to me. No one's going to come and save you. You need to pull yourself up out of this. You need to realize that things happen for a reason and they aren't just to make people hurt. They're on the path. You planned this. I'm hearing this person in my head going, you planned this. Okay, it's like, you better listen. You planned this in order to learn how to be self-efficient, self-loving, not needing other people's approval. Is that what you wanted from your dad? Is his approval? That's why he's saying that. Okay. There was something you were doing that he was not necessarily approving of, but it didn't really change his feelings for you. He wants you to know that. He wants you to know that he did love you. He still does love you, no matter what. All right. And he wants you to understand that you planned this life, Lala. You planned this life. And there's nobody to be angry at, not even yourself, because this life is to be planned. This life is to be lived as you plan it in the most positive way. If you have questions, let me know. Put it in the chat box, okay? You have a lot of guilt. It doesn't matter. I did that before. Yeah. Let me see what's next. Let's see. If you're new here, make sure you hit the like button and you subscribe and make sure you hit that bell for me, please, okay? I'm also over on Instagram and I started a new Facebook group where you can talk to me and my mentor mediums personally, one-on-one on that Facebook group. And I did put the link to that Facebook group up here somewhere if you want to scroll up. Here, nope, I'll find it later. Okay. All right. So let's, any other questions for me before I move on? It's 11 o'clock. I can either go or I can stay. If you have any other questions, let me know. I do want to talk about one more thing before I go, though. Okay. Oh, the career path. Okay. Hold on, Lala, 1 second. Nope, going that way, Lala. Okay. Are you on the right career path? It feels to me, Lala, you're on the career path that was meant, that you were kind of told to be on in a certain way. Like, this is what you need to be doing, but it wasn't necessarily something that you love. It's something that was approved and you're good at. But I'm not getting the feeling that you actually like it, but it makes you money. And that's what's good about it. Or it will make you money. They're correcting me. What should you be doing? Oh, I'm going to look back at your life path real quick. Like, I get the difference between business and art. And I know that that's not specifically what you're doing or where you're going, but it's like night and day. So you are somebody who, I'm getting the word performance. You like, I mean, maybe not like huge performances, but you like just putting yourself out there. You like, I'm just getting the word performance. Were you an actor, or you did that in school? Maybe you were behind the scenes. I'm seeing a stage. I'm seeing an audience. Definitely a creative way about it. They're not necessarily pointing me to actor, though. Let's see. Hey, Princess. Thanks for subscribing. Actually, I was doing what was expecting. Now I'm doing something I really love. Yeah, I used to do stage plays when we were younger. Yeah. I get the sense, Lala, that you are still hung up on this whole, I need to be doing what I'm supposed to be doing, and you have the guilt about switching. And you shouldn't, because that's your life path. You're supposed to learn to get out of your way, and that's what you're doing. You're doing what your soul and your spirit guides are guiding you to do. So don't feel bad about that. You are not yet, though, all the way down your career path. I feel as if you're in the very beginning of it. So they're telling me like about 5 years is when you're going to start hitting your stride. So you stick with what you're doing, and in about 5 years, you're really going to hit the stride of it. Okay. Let me see if I missed any questions. Bob say. Okay. A horse. I think I talked to you about this before, Gail. Horse is your spirit animal. Did I tell you that? I believe I told you that. It's your spirit animal. Okay. Strong and steady, loving and beautiful, unfailingly loyal. That's your spirit. Horse is your spirit guide. Not your spirit guide, is your totem, animal totem. I'm seeing you be a bit timid, though, Gail. You're timid, and in certain ways, and your spirit guides are trying to coax you out of being so timid. It's like you're poking your head out, like, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay, it's okay. You can come out. That's what they're saying. All right. Okay, Lala, you went to med school. Yeah, and I can see where the guilt would be there if like you went to med school all the way through, then you changed. But here's the thing. That might be blended into something that you're doing with your new path. So what you learned, that was not a mistake to go to med school. What you learned in med school is going to be applicable to something down the road. So understand that these are all pieces of the puzzle that you're walking in your life. You're picking them up as you go, and you're going to be able to fit them all together. Okay. I feel like you're going to be doing something, and this is where the creative way came out. Like you're going to be doing something that's like brand new, that you're going to create at this position in some way. I can't exactly explain what they're showing me, but it's not something that we currently have in the way of I, I don't know. I'm getting the word like ingenuity and invention. So if you have those kind of ideas, roll with them. Okay. All right. Good question. I would like to know my animal guide. Is there anyone else that wants to be recognized? Let me go back to Lala real quick. I'm going to go back again, Lala. There's something about these two things that you're going to be bringing together, and I when they don't show me things, it's for a reason. It's either too private or I'm not meant to say it in public. And I generally say anything that comes in my head. So generally they cut it like, you know. Okay. Your animal guide, she talks to angels. Okay, it's that light. It's in a second one this week that I'm seeing butterflies around. And this is a transient happens with a client, a new client too, is when you happens with a butterfly is it's transformative. So you're in the middle of a transformation. You okay, they're saying you've always wanted to wake up, you just didn't know how. Okay, so you're in the middle of a transformation that you're kind of trying to rush your way through, but if we know like butterflies in chrysalis, they tend to stay for as long as they need to, and then they come out of it. And when they come out of the chrysalis, it's a little painful for them, truthfully. So know that when you're in the middle of this, you're just breaking out of your chrysalis. When you come out of this chrysalis, you're going to be more free and more radiating light than you've ever felt before. But you're right in the middle of it, and I see you kind of stomping your feet, like, but I wanted to go faster. I wanted to go fast. Doesn't work that way, sweetie. Okay. Am I still stuck? I'm good? Okay, thanks, Princess. I'm sorry I skipped your question. Sometimes I just like glance down and I pull out. Okay, how do my coworkers view me? Thanks. All right. I think the reason they had this skipped, okay, is because I had somebody last week asking me this question like constantly. So how your coworkers view you. I mean, I think it's a little bit being pushed off to the side. You're being pushed off to the side a little bit, but it has to do with your vibration, Princess. And the reason I brought up the person from last week, hold on. The reason I brought up the person from last week was that this person had come back 2 different weeks to ask me, what people thought about this person. And I'll say the same thing to you, is that we should not be worried about what other people think of us, because that is an indication that we're looking for validation from the outside that we don't have inside. If we love ourselves fully and unconditionally inside, it doesn't matter what anybody else thinks. To answer your question though, it does feel like they're pushing you off to the side a little bit. But that's not something that you should be worried about. What I'm focused more on you with, Princess, is that you yeah, they're telling me that you lost yourself along the way. You lost yourself. And you keep going along this path, thinking if you keep moving forward on the path, you'll find yourself again. But really, you lost yourself quite some time ago, and you need to take a pause and re examine what that is when you lost yourself. If you want me to go down that road, go ahead and put a question in, explain. If you want me to explain a little bit more, just ask a little bit more of a specific question and I can help you, or you can make an appointment, which I pinned at the top, and we can talk one-on-one a little bit more personally, okay? Good. Okay, so I am good. Any other questions? Spirit guides are so interesting because, yeah, she talks to angels. I'm totally right because I'm psychic. But no, like I know I'm right because it's funny because I was getting the energy of this horse like stomping, stomping, but that's not you. That's what you've made yourself into, Torrance. Okay. You've made yourself into this, like, I'm going to do all, I'm going to be all, but really you've just been in this chrysalis and you need to let yourself out. And no, you're not even let yourself out. You just need to stand back and let it happen because it's going to happen. And if you push it too far, if you push it too fast, it's just going to end up being another roadblock for you. And you're going to have to go back to square one and start over. We don't want to do that, right? So, spirit animals are interesting because spirit animals can change over time. And the reason I can tell you this is because the lady who had first got me into all of this, her name is Melissa. She does past life readings. She helps you figure out your karma. And I'm just not really doing what she did. I'm taking it a step further by helping people through the clearing process. So she told me my spirit animal was a rat. And she said that, like, and this is so true though, like I lived my whole life like in the gutter and kind of in the sewer because that's where I thought my life was meant to be. And when I went through this transformative process, I became, geez, I can't remember. There was something else, like all of a sudden I had a dream of this wooden rat. The rat was now wooden. Okay. And was no longer, the second one had turned into, I can't remember, but the one that I was really in, and I was like, wow, this, and it was a year after all of that had taken place, my spiritual awakening had taken place, was I started dreaming about whales. And I messaged Melissa and I asked her about, like, what does that mean? She's like, that is really what your spirit animal is because it's deep and it brings wisdom and it is knowledge of all the ages. And she was very happy to see that I have transformed out of being the rat in the gutter and I am what I am now. So understand that if you're not in a positive place in your life, your animal totem will reflect that. So you need to get into the positive space to have your proper animal totem come in. All right. Yeah, you can ask another question. I'm laughing at you too, Torrance. Torrance is my friend, by the way. Just let everybody know that. Okay. Hey, if you're new, welcome. Please hit the like button and subscribe to this channel. And make sure you hit the bell when you subscribe so you get alerted whenever I upload content. Okay, Princess, this is a big, everybody loses themselves. It's not just you. So when we're born, before we're born, we have planned out most of the things in our life. We've picked our parents, we've picked where we're going to be born, where we're going to live. So think about where you're living right now and the cultural ramifications it has on your life. That's part of the lesson you're supposed to be learning. Okay, so I talk to a lot of women who are over in India or over in the Middle East who don't have as many rights as other women in the world do. And the reason that people choose those places is because they're learning their karmic lesson. It's not a punishment, it's balance. And their patterns get in the way. So everybody loses their path. Literally everybody loses their path along the way. So when you're born, your ego takes over and you build up your ego based upon the family you're living in, the culture that you're growing up in, all the values of the religious, spiritual, if they have them. All of that takes over away from your intuition and the plan you're supposed to be living out. So every single person, I'm going to say 99% of the people you meet in this world are living solely on ego instincts and letting their karmic patterns take control. 99% of the people you will meet are unhappy because they think life is supposed to be a struggle. Life is supposed to be hard. It's not supposed to be that way. So when you learn that life isn't supposed to be that way, Princess, you go back and you think, okay, so who am I really? Who was I taught to be? Okay. And this is what I help my clients with, honestly, is kind of jigsaw their life together and figure out where they are lost. If I can go back into where your life was, hold on. Princess, it feels like you were very, very like an exuberant child, very happy, very outgoing. And you were not punished, but scolded for being like a little minx, a little mischief maker. And you learned very quickly that that was not acceptable. So that would be where you lost your way. That isn't where you lost your focus. That's just where you learned what is acceptable in life and in this life, rather than who you plan to be. So who we are, our personalities, once we're through a spiritual awakening, our personalities are pretty much the same on the other side. So I'm all like this on the other side. Hey, okay. So when you're positive and you're on a positive path, that is who you are. That's your soul. But when you feel like you have to hold back and you have to please people and you have to do something for someone so they approve of you or they accept you, that is not who you are. That is your ego. And the ego isn't a bad thing in the sense that like I think about all these football movies with these guys, you're like, that's not ego. Ego is the person you created yourself into be based upon what's culturally acceptable, what's accepted by your family, what's accepted by your religion. Does that make sense to you? If you have any questions, let me know, okay? Hey, Christina, I'm happy you're here. I was just working on your journal, Christina. I have so much to say. Your past life came rushing back to me. I was late for a meeting because I was talking to your past life. Oh my God. I have made so many connections for you, Christina. Okay. I'm reading your comments right now. Hold on a second. Very like crazy, and I thought no one liked me when I'm crazy. Oh, please. I have decided I don't care what people think of me. People think I'm crazy too. I don't need to talk to them anymore, right? Christina, if you have a question, I would love to talk to you. I don't know how to pronounce your name, so can I call you Ruby? Can you please guide me how and when I'll become successful in my career and like when you'll become financially independent? Okay. Yeah, I can. Hold on. Hey, Raja. I'm just fine, Raja. Happy to see you. Okay, let me answer this question about successful in your career, financially independent. Can I have your birth date? I really wish I could pronounce your name. I'm going to try it. Risharia. And if I'm wrong, I'm sorry. Don't hate me. Can I have your birth date? And that will help me understand where you are in your life path. And Princess, people become obnoxious when they become defensive about not knowing who they are and having people judge them. Don't feel bad about that. Right now, Princess, what you're living a life that isn't you. You're living a life that is run by your ego and your karmic patterns, and you're in the back seat. Okay, Rushi. Okay. Birth date. Rushi, can I have your birth date? Christina, I'll be right there. I will tell you about, well, I can tell you about your past life, actually, if you don't mind. I'll tell you about your past life here. All right, Rushi. Okay, so that's 8, 10, 15, all right, 4. Okay, yep, that's why you're asking. You are, I love your question, Rushi. Okay, so your life path number is a 4. You're very stable, stability. You usually make what you want happen. Your attitude is an 8, which is an awesome thing to have when your life path is a 4. Because an attitude of an 8 brings along the financial prowess and brings along the power of intelligence into the 4. So you're going to be quite successful. All right. If you're living on a positive path, if you're not on a positive path, you struggle to keep money, you struggle to keep a job. You tend to soak in people's judgments about you, which is what I'm feeling for you right now. Okay. So Rishi, when you're going to become positive, when you're going to become positive, you will become independent. That's what I wanted to explain to you. So what I want for you is to consider taking one of my karmic classes, and Bob can put the link in there, because you can learn all about this and I can help you identify how you can clear this. Independently successful is difficult when you're living underneath the thumb of someone else. And it may not be actual physically under the thumb, but you are taking other people's judgments as what you need to live by, and they're not. Okay. When you start living authentically yourself, you will build your financial independence within a year. I mean, it'll come real fast. Okay. Um, Yeah, Neelam, I can go into past lives. I do it mostly for my clients. No, I only do it for my clients. And Christina's taking one of my classes. So when I was writing back to her in her journal, I started telling her about one of her patterns, and all of a sudden her past life took over. Christina is a teacher in the United States, and she has, like we all do, just kind of, am I doing good enough? Am I doing well enough? This over and over, like not sure if she's doing well enough in life. And I started to tell her about this pattern and how to, clear it. And all of a sudden my mind went to this past life in France, which makes sense because she loves French. She lives in France. And this past life, she married a little older. When I say a little older, I mean a tad older than what was expected. And she married a man she thought was like the last one. Like, I better marry him or I'm never going to get married. All right. And in the first, it was fine. He was a miller. They were showing me he turned wheat into flour. Is that how it goes? Like, they crush it into flour. And I was a very hard worker. And then she was an exceptional cook. And she had all of this. And what they were showing me is she had all of they call it bells and whistles, but for this day and age, I mean, it really wasn't much if we look at it, but for that day and age, she had like the pot over the fire, and then she had this like stove looking thing. And she was a very good cook. I mean, I could smell the stew. Excuse me. I could smell the stew. I mean, everything, the bread, I mean, she was known around the town as the best cook in the town. And she didn't live in the country, but she didn't live in the city. It was a small town. And so what was happening within this marriage was that the husband was older. Okay. The husband was older. And when I say older, I mean like she was in her like 30s. He was in his 50s. He had white hair, a mustache. He was a little roundy. I called it roundy, a little shorter, a little roundy. And I said to her, I'm waiting for, Belle from Beauty and the Beast to come like dancing through this town, because that's exactly kind of what it looked like that time period. So this man was not very happy with anything. Like, and it wasn't just her. He wasn't happy with like anything anybody ever did, but he generally took it out on her. So when he came home this specific day, she was cooking, again, magnificent meal. And they got into some sort of argument where, it was like, oh, this again, we're having this again. And she was like, well, I thought you would like it. And it's this over the umbrella is that nothing she does is ever good enough, which is what she's brought into this life. And she has that feeling that nothing she ever does is ever good enough. And the people around her are a reflection of her, when that's not the truth. I mean, I haven't talked to one parent, honestly, in the last year who doesn't have their child like struggling in school. I want everybody to hear that. Not one. All these kids are just as side blasted, blindsided as we are with this whole situation we're in. So, don't let it be a reflection on you if your kids are struggling. Okay. So what happened in this past life was that she somehow ended up getting this stew dumped on her and burned pretty badly. And although she didn't die at that point, she developed a bad infection, and she would die shortly thereafter, feeling that it was her fault. that she didn't do something, and he wouldn't have done this if blah, 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 she didn't do this. So she went to the other side and she was like, oh, okay, I see my lessons. It's not supposed to be like that. I could do this different. I can do this different. I can do this different. But her karmic pattern was already set, and your karmic pattern goes into your DNA. It does not stay in your soul or your mind. Your karmic pattern's in your DNA. So she brought that in with her, feeling like she's not good enough, that anything she does is not good enough, that I mean, there's one specific comment she had made, like, oh, why didn't I think of that? That's a comment that means that you don't trust your own ability in this life. So you kind of hand it over to somebody else, like, oh, I think you can do better than I can. That's all a karmic pattern. And this karmic pattern came from this life where she was doing everything she could possibly do, this loving mother, wonderful cook. She was very well loved in the community, but she was married to a man who just wasn't happy. And he took it out on her a lot, that she didn't do things well enough. And she has brought that into this life. And that's what she needs to clear in her karmic patterns. So in a nutshell, Christina, there you go. There's more, but I will talk to you about that later. All right. Let me see what you're saying here. Yeah, it did carry over this life, Christina. It did. I wrote about it in your journal. I want you to go look at your journal. I'm not done yet because honestly, I was late for one of my appointments because I was so into this past life. So go look at your journal of what I've wrote already. Okay. Yeah, and honestly, I do. I can see past lives very well. I can connect them to karmic patterns, but this is what I do for my clients. I won't do that on live stream here. I can answer your short questions here, but if you're interested in knowing about your past lives, go ahead and make an appointment with me, and I can surely talk to you about them and how they're, and more importantly, how they are affecting your life right now. Because we all have them. We all have things that happened in our past life. And here's more, okay? It's not just our past lives that are affecting us. Our parents, our grandparents, their past lives, if they haven't cleared their karmic patterns, we have them too. Isn't that a nice gift? So when we clear our patterns, we clear them for our entire family line, up and down the line. And I'm seeing that honestly happening in one family that I'm helping. I mean, honestly, it started with one person in the family came, and then I wanted to talk to somebody in her family, and it's like kind of been dominoes. So now I'm helping a lot of people in this family. And as they're clearing together, they're clearing faster, and they're clearing, their lives are changing like this over, and like just overnight. Their lives are becoming better and better, because when you have more than one person in your family clearing your pattern, and they want me to remind you your soul group, because Holly and I also have cleared patterns together and have made our lives unbelievably, incredibly nice. And it's only because we shared the same patterns as part of the same soul group. Okay. Yeah, past lives. I can do tarot if you want me to do tarot, but you know what I can tell you, Rushi, is people who I mean, I have my tarot cards here, but what I'm telling you is people who memorize the tarot cards are not psychic. Okay, people who memorize the tarot cards are just memorizing the cards, and they're digging around in your life, going, okay, is this right? Is this right? When I'm actually psychic, so I can use the cards, but I don't use them the way that we do most people do tarot. Most people just memorize them, and most people say, well, the cards came out this way, where I can actually see into your energy, I can see into your life, I can see into the questions you're asking. So I can do tarot for you if you'd like, but the interesting thing is, if you don't believe in tarot, if you believe in tarot, how do you not believe in past lives? Okay, how your March will be. I also got a new deck of cards that isn't tarot that I kind of love, but it's called Work Your Light. I'll pull two cards for you. So this is from Work Your Light, and these cards I thought were really good because they're more personal. Okay, so this card, seeding, laying the foundations, divine plan. Okay, so March is going to be about you thinking about things that might need changed, Rushi, that might need change, that might need planting a seed, meaning things you've been thinking about but didn't really want to focus on. You want to plant the seed in March and let it grow. And let me do a 3-card spread for you real quick. Okay. So yeah, it's saying you're stepping out into a new territory in March. There is some sort of theft and betrayal coming at you. And that feels like it's from behind you. I'm looking behind you. Do you have close friends or brothers? So it's two. It's two. So it's total of three, you and two others. So there's two behind you that are, you need to be careful and trusting. Okay. Um, Good. I'm glad that happened. Good, good, good. Yeah. What I'm seeing in March, Rushi, is that you need to be careful of these two. They're men, and I don't know if they're close friends or brothers, but they feel that way. And they're trying to take, they're saying it's take what is yours, take what is yours. So this is not to blow things up. You're not supposed to blow things up. You're not supposed to make a scene. Just be careful. Because the third card is three people, a celebration of three people, but it's reversed, which means it's not a celebration. So this combined means, yes, you're stepping out on your own. You're stepping into something new. Be careful of these two people who are like behind you. Okay. Anything, other questions? Nice, Bob. Any other questions? Am I doing anything right in my life? Well, you're here. Um, so yeah, there's plenty you're doing right in your life. You know what I've found, Princess, is that people who need me most, like when you're getting to that place of rock bottom, is when you find me. And I'm not going to be like tooting my own horn here, right? But that is what I'm telling you happens. So the reason you're here is because you needed to talk to me. All right. Yeah, sure, you're doing things. Right, Princess. Sure, you're doing things right. I think the question is indicative of how you feel about yourself and to begin with, right? Because if you feel like you're not doing things right, not all things right, but things right, if you feel you're not doing things right, then that means that you have some self-doubt within inside of you. All right. And you need to figure out what that self-doubt is about and get it out of you. All right. I would be happy, happy, happy. Yes, they are men. I would be happy, happy, happy to work with you. So if you want to make an appointment with me, just please do. I'd be very happy to work with you on this. Your guides are saying that you are a bit lost. Do you have like, you've had something happen where it's like you trusted somebody and then, I mean, it's happened a few times, but it's happened this last time where it's like you've trusted somebody and they've definitely turned on you. And you're like, I don't think I'm ever going to trust anybody again. Okay. That's why they're bringing you to me. If any of my clients are on here, go ahead and tell her that I am like trustworthy. Tell them everything, okay? Because this person really does need to talk to me. Okay. All right. One friend came and helped me to heal my heart wound. Am I doing anything right? Amen. Okay, Lala. Lala, they're telling me that you have so much to work on right now that you shouldn't be focused on long-term relationships. And I think a lot of people, and I said it at the beginning, I'm going to say it again. A lot of people look at their romance relationships as completing them. What is that, Jerry Maguire movie? You complete me. No, you complete yourself. Okay. You find somebody who loves you, the complete you. Okay. You complete you. All right. So they're saying you have stuff to work on before you can even think about getting married. And if you do, they're specifically telling me, Lala, if you do go into like a marriage agreement at this point in your life, it's not going to turn out the way you want it to. All right. And that happens with a lot of people looking for jobs, you know, and they're really down on themselves and they're trying to get a job and they'll take anything because they really think they need a job. They'll end up with a job they absolutely hate because they need to work on themselves first. All right. This is why this is happening for you. Rishi, when will I find my life partner? Next year. It's going to be next year. And they're specifically saying not to focus on looking too hard because it's going to come together naturally. It's going to come together. in a way that you weren't expecting. And if you were looking for this kind of thing, you're not going to allow it to happen. So you just kind of need to flow with your life, and you will meet your life partner next year naturally. And you'll know it. February next year. It's 1 year. Okay. Princess, tell me what happened. When the trusting somebody, you don't have to tell me what happened. I know what happened, but like, yes. So I know you have been betrayed, and yeah. They're saying, Princess, just listen, go back and listen to this again from what I'm saying to you, and let it really resonate within you. What's another question? You're welcome, Rushi. Always a pleasure to help you. Somebody else is asking me on another platform about what I do to help clients. I'll put it in a nutshell. So what I do is when I meet with people, if it's a client meeting, I take an hour to first meet with them, and they explain everything that's going on, all the stuff they don't like about their life, and then I'll ask questions about, what's going on with their life up to this point. I will be able to reach into their past lives. I can identify the karmic patterns. And then when they move on as like the long-term client, we have a double entry journal where they write in every day. I review it. I tell them where I'm seeing their patterns pop up. I explain how to clear them. I haven't had one client who has joined me and said it didn't work. I mean, I've always seen a turnaround between 3 and 4 weeks. Between 3 and 4 weeks is where the turnaround happens. And then after that 3 to 4 weeks is when the work starts. All right. And that's when you really start questioning your shadow self and everything. So I'll give you a little idea of the changes people make. So I have a lot of people coming in unhappy marriages. I've had people, make the decision to leave their marriages. I've had people make the decision to bring their partner in with them and clear together. And Bob and I did that, and it worked really, really well. I've had people come with eating disorders and depression and physical diseases, and it all has to do with karma. It all has to do with our karmic balance, and karma is not a punishment. It all just has to do with our ego and our karmic patterns that are blocking our life. So if you want to know more about that, just make an appointment with me, and I can explain to you what I do and what I can do for you. I did open up a few more memberships on Patreon. If you head over to patreon.com/thekey, I opened up a few more memberships. It was sold out earlier this week. I decided I would open it up for today just in case, and I knew there were going to be some people here that were interested. If you enter in at the $5 level, the lowest level, I'll be able to talk to you more about where else you can go with this. And that's generally what people decide to do. They come in at the lowest level, and then I will help guide them where else they need to be going. Okay. Yeah. Princess, I can't tell you how many people have told me that same story about their mother, me included. So it's hard when it's your mom, but you also have to remember that they're living their own life. They're living their own path, and they may not be making the best choices, and it has nothing to do with you. All right. The best thing to do is just kind of distance yourself from those kind of people. Okay. It's 11:38. Let me do 10 more minutes. We'll do 10 more minutes. If anybody has any more questions, put your date of birth, your question in. If you want me to specifically do tarot, go ahead and just say you want it to be tarot. That's great. The other reason I'm pulling away from the tarot a little bit is because a week or two ago, no, 3 weeks maybe now, I had a Kundalini Awakening, which means like all of my chakra energy opened up. And let me tell you, that was an experience. It started after I stopped eating meat. And my vibration really, really rose up. And the reason I stopped eating meat is because I began to feel the death of the animal as I was eating it, which is not fun. So I stopped eating meat. Then my vibration rose to levels that I've never actually had it at before. I mean, you really do feel when you get high level vibrations, like you really do feel like you're walking like 3 feet off the ground. Then I had that Kundalini awakening, and I don't really need the cards anymore because I can see so clearly inside my third eye, inside my mind, of what's happening with people's energy. I don't even need to see you. I can just feel your energy when you ask a question. That's why this is fun for me, honestly, because usually I see people through the screen, and like that's what a lot of psychics do, is they look at people's reactions like, oh, is that right? Is that right? It's right. I can't do that. I can't do that because I don't see you. I just look at your question, I sink into your energy, and I answer it. And it's like a test for me to do this. So if you have any more questions, put them in the box. Top of this, I pinned it at the top where you can make an appointment with me. You can join my Patreon. I'm over on Instagram if you want to message me, although I'm becoming busier and busier. Getting over and messaging on Instagram is becoming a little bit of a task, but I will get there every couple of days. Let's see if I have any more questions. Okay. See, the travel questions are so interesting, Princess. It's because, okay, my guides are telling me to remind you that if you like what I'm saying, go up to my Oreo fund and click on the link. It says if you like what Stacie's doing, you click on that link and you can donate. I love Oreos. So it would be like you're buying me a box of Oreos. So if you like what I'm saying and you like this, go ahead and buy me a box of Oreos. I very much appreciate it. Princess, the location issue is talking about I've gotten this block for 6 months now. Like, I want to say yes, but because the situation in the world has become not gone away, travel has become sticky. I mean, I do see you traveling. What I see happening, though, is a lot of these health restrictions are going to be taking place and may present some issues. So if this is a place you very much want to go and you are looking forward to it, make sure you get way ahead of all the paperwork and all of the, red tape that's needed, because yeah, you will be able to go. The only thing that's going to hold you back are all of the travel issues that are being put in place. So this world issue we're dealing with will not be spreading any further. Okay. Okay. Yeah. Well, what I said to you, Rishi, about the men, I said it's either two friends or two brothers. Okay. Um, Very specifically men behind you. So it's on the same level as you are. So that doesn't mean it's like a father or an uncle or like a niece or a nephew. It's definitely two men who are around the same age, okay, on your same level, and they're kind of in your circle. Okay. When will I meet? Lala. Did I answer that already? Lala, I answered that one already. You need to work on yourself first, okay, before you can find somebody who's actually worth marrying. You can find somebody who's like going to be your husband, just any old person. Do you want that? Because that's what you're going to get right now. All right. What the guides are telling me is that you need to work on yourself in order to love yourself unconditionally. And then you will attract the men that will love you. And they're pausing when I'm saying men. So I'm just going to say person. The person who will love you unconditionally and love you the way that you do. Okay. What was I just talking about? Princess, you said within the 3 months. I do see that, but you have to stay way ahead. And Rishi, that's all they're showing me. It's either two friends or brothers, or you might not even know them, maybe, but they're coming, and I think you will know them. Um, just be aware of that in March. That was your question, in March. Okay, so it's two people, two men. All right. And for some reason, they're behind you. And it's odd because I never see placements like that, but they're behind you. So could they physically be behind you, like at work? But just remember that they're behind you. It's two men. I think you already know them. And if you don't, you're going to know them very soon. All right. All right. All right. Last question for Lala. Great. Lala's going to round this out. Before I answer her question, I want you to remember to please check out my Oreo tip jar. I would like you to please make appointments if you want to make a one-to-one with me. Links are all above. Or you can join my Patreon, which starts at $5 a month. And I get to have, I always meet my $5 a month members just 15 minutes just to get to know each other and then see where you're where your needs are and what you need from me. And you can stay at that level if you want. And I will give you all the support I can offer at that level. Or you can look at the higher levels and just talk to me about, what you're looking for. Okay. I have a long, long list of clients that have helped. I haven't transformed their lives. They have transformed their lives based upon the guidance I gave them. And I would love for all of you to join us. All right. Patreon.com/thekey. Okay. Lala, when will you be able to move? Okay. It's interesting you asked to be able to move because I feel like you could just leave and you'd be okay. So that makes me feel financially you might be fine. You have some restrictions I'm feeling or things holding you back. No, you have actions out of obligation that you feel you need to stay where you are. I don't know if it's a contract or if it's somebody's approval, but you feel like you need to stay out of obligation. And that feels like it's eight months. Does that make sense? 8 months that's going to last. But really, I feel like you could leave and just go and get what you want anytime. There's nothing really holding you back other than yourself. That's what I'm trying to say. Does that make sense? When will you get your house? Okay, so those would be the restrictions. Is that the restrictions? When will I get my house? Well, they clearly told me 8 months. So 8 months is that. So where does that put us? That will put us what? December? They're saying 8 months is when it looks like it'll be open, ready for you to go forward. Okay. I am really sorry, guys. I'm getting very tired. This really does drain me. So what I want you to do is if you have your questions, save them for next week, next Sunday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Find me on Instagram or join my Patreon membership. I appreciate any of it. If you have any questions, go ahead and just leave them in the comments below this live stream once it's posted. It takes an hour or two for them to post. All right. I want you to remember to stay positive and non-judgmental of everybody you meet. Send everybody love, even the people who harm you, because they're the ones who need it the most. All right. You guys have a lovely, lovely day.